Hello and welcome to the Federal. I'm your host Abhijit Singh Bhangra, and what was supposed to be a mere 8 days expedition has now translated into 2 crore 36 lakh seconds. That translates somewhere into 4 lakh plus minutes. And if I break it down again, 6,768 hours. I can go on and on. The maths can be done just within a matter of seconds. But to talk more about the situation of Sunita Williams and her astronaut partner, we have a very special guest with us. And his name is TV Venkatesan, professor at IISCR in Mohali. Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. All hi to everyone. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for joining in, sir. So, first, a very straight up question to you as to what is happening in NASA currently and why this delay just keep on happening again and again.
Okay. So that again and again part, I'm not really sure whether it is correct or is it merely a media hype so that you can create one news. See, she went on a 8-day cruise, supposedly to check one of the Boeing Starliner spacecraft. That spacecraft malfunctioned, and then NASA decided that it's not safe to use it further. So she stayed back, and then the spacecraft came back to Earth for checking and things like that. So when she stayed back, there were two options: to bring her by another ship, or she could become part of the next round of team. So when she reached the International Space Station, there was already expedition 70 going on, and the 71 was expected to begin. So what they did is that they made both of them part of the 71st expedition. So let me just take a minute to explain this. What is this expedition? So
Sure.
from November 1, 2000, there is constantly at least few people in the International Space Station. So it is like, for example, your emergency ward in a hospital where there will be constantly at least one doctor and a few nurses and attendants, right? So whether it is rain or shine or whatever, right? 24 hours, all days. Similarly, there is a set of people who are there in the International Space Station, and they rotate. That is, some people go there, they spend certain amount of time, and a new team goes, the old people hand over, and then they come back. And then they stay for some time, and the next one. So similarly, 72nd expedition is right now going on. There are totally 7 people in the International Space Station, not just 2. There are 7 people. Out of the 7 people, 2 went by a craft called Dragon 9. Okay, that's a American craft. And another 3 went by Soyuz, a Russian craft. Then Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore were there. So totally now there are 7 people over there. So already, if you currently look at the International Space Station, the International Space Station currently has multiple spacecraft attached to it. Just let me read you the spacecraft. Number 1, there is Crew 9 Dragon, which took the 2 astronauts. Yeah. Similarly, there is Soyuz 26, which took 3 astronauts. 2 plus 3, 5, and then Sunita Williams and Bull Wilmore, totally 7. 7 people are over there. In addition to these 2 craft which took them there is Cygnus 21, there is Progress 90, there is also Progress 91. In fact, the Progress 91 reached the International Space Station few days ago. It carried food, water, fuel, letters. People wanted some special sweet from their home, all those kinds of stuff, and then it all went there. It's there. So if there is an emergency, if there is a problem, evacuating the International Space Station is not an issue. You can sit in this crafts and then come back to Earth. But if you want to operate the International Space Station, you will have to wait till the next crew comes. It is very similar to if you are sitting in an emergency theater in a hospital, emergency services hospital. Even if your colleague is late by 1 hour, you will wait for that 1 hour and then only come back. Nobody will tell you you are stuck there, you are caught there, you are stranded there, right? So it's a part of the duty, right? So it's a same thing. So now they are waiting for the crew from Earth to go there, And then after they go there, they'll spend all of them together, they will spend for 4-5 days, because it will take about that much of time for handing over. Okay, you have to hand over your station to the new team, right? So it will
Yes.
take usually about 5 days. Okay, usually about 5 days. Maybe less is enough, but usually about 5 days. Then they'll. So this handover has a lot of things. Like for example, if some new relative comes to your house or a friend comes to your house, you would certainly tell, no, yeah, I mean that bathroom, that latch doesn't work properly. So use this latch.
Yeah.
So in the last 6 months, something would have happened in the International Space Station. You will have to tell that to the next guy. Otherwise, the next guy will be in dark. So this is
In trouble.
handover. Yeah.
Yes.
So this handover will be done, and then plus also they are doing a lot of research. So research related things have to be told to the new team. So that's why they'll spend. So that time there'll be something like about 11 people in the craft, not just 7. When this new 4 people go there, there'll be 11 people for about 4-5 days, and then this 4 will come back in their Dragon capsule. The remaining 3 who are there part of the 72 expedition, they will come back only in April. So the changeover for them is going to go in April. Soyuz craft will go in April. So those 3 will come back in April.
Right. So, Doctor, according to the latest reports which are circulating in the media, it is stated that now the new operations will start, or rather, the operation to bring back Sunita will actually begin. Will actually begin from 14th, and like you said, there is 4 or 5 days of gap that is being that will be taken across. So I just wanted to ask you, because out of eagerness I'm asking this, what is it that actually happens in those 4 to 5 days? If you can explain it maybe in a brief.
Okay, so number one is that the station working condition you will have to explain to the new team. So there might be some electrical power system where there is an issue, so you'll have to keep watch. There might be things which are stored in different places, like food goes there. You keep food in different places. So you'll have to tell them where you have kept your cookies. I mean, if one has to say that, right? So you have to explain that, number one. Number two is research. For example, one of the major research that Sunita Williams was involved when she was there for the last 6 months is growing
Yeah.
plants. So this growing plants, there are some protocols, like you have to feed it at right time. You have to check certain things at right time. So these kind of protocols have to be told to the new team, so that 1 or 2 member of the new team will continue that experiment. So that experiment will continue in the same way. So that's why, you have both of you are together, so you learn from the other person. Okay. This is broadly what happens during the handover. And all the systems, maintenance, food availability, water availability, fuel, they are all kept in different places. So you have to tell the person. It's very similar to, for example, if you go to your friend's house, the friend may tell
Yeah.
you that, oh, yeah, I've kept tea here, sugar here, coffee here, so you can make. No, that's essential.
The
But much
house
more.
etiquette, basically. The house etiquettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like just an extension to my last question, Doctor. Once the handover is given, right, and once the space or the capsule that is supposed to bring Sunita Williams back to Earth. So, what is the estimated time? That is being calculated from the time when they start from the space to the ISS. You can tell us.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, number one, they will decide a time window in which they will detach from the ISS and then come back to Earth, because you have to splash down at the right place where a ship can come and take you. So you can't just take. You have to calculate where you are and how they will orbit, and then all those things, and then you make it. So that's why, for example, even this launch is not happening at any time,
Yes.
because then you launch correctly at the time so that you will go and reach ISS. Otherwise, you will go to some other point in space. So that's the plan. Actually, from detach to landing, it will not take more than 20 to 30 minutes. It will not
Oh,
take more than 20 to 30 minutes. But when they will detach and when they will start maneuvering toward the Earth will depend on these factors, including climate factors. For example, if there is a raging storm in the area where they are supposed to land, they will delay till the storm peters out. That's all. That's a kind of stuff that will happen. Yeah.
All right, all right. Very quickly, doctor. Next question, because there's a lot of curiosity regarding Sunita Williams's health and also restaurant partner Butch. So, what are the kind of the health hazards which they are likely to face, or what are the kind of precautions? Because this is the question that will continue to ring in common man's head. That living in space is altogether different cup of tea than here we are on Earth. So, what is the kind of health hazards that these astronauts actually face in real life?
Okay, I'll give you one simple example so that all of us can relate and understand. Okay, I mean,
Please.
now I am sitting or you are standing.
Yes.
So Earth's gravity will actually pull your blood, and then if you look at your body or my body, the bottom portion will have a lot more blood than the upper portion, natural, expected, right? And in fact,
Yes.
it's against the gravity that the blood is pumped to your head. Yeah, so when you are standing, I mean, it's against gravity the blood is pumped to your head. Now, if you are in a spacecraft, I mean, like International Space Station, there is no pull in one direction. There is no gravitational force acting on your blood. Okay, so what will happen is that your blood will be flowing all part of your body, and because we are designed to send blood to our head, actually more blood will go to our head. So your face will be bloated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your face will be bloated. So you will feel bit of dizziness, bit of disorientation, bit of vision problem. These kinds of things will be one issue. It doesn't mean that it will be permanent. It's not like lifelong. So once you come
Right.
back to Earth, I mean, you'll a few days acclimatize and then you will get back to normal. I mean, I'm just giving you one example. Okay, there are many things.
Yeah.
Right now I'm sitting, so my body feels where is ground, where is ceiling, where is my side, where is my back, where is my front. All is because of two things. One is visual cue. There is a land and the sky. And then also my body feels gravity, and then gravity sensors in my body or your body tells you your orientation. Right?
Yes.
So, but in space, none of these things are there. There is no sky and the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, for first few days, sorry. And then when you come back to Earth, again to attain to Earth condition, there is a delay. But this is not only happening to Sunita Williams. Remember, there are 7 people, one of which is Sunita Williams. There are hundreds of people who have gone there. It happens to all of them. In fact, this itself is part of the study. That is, if you want to do a travel to Mars, you will have to travel for almost 1.5 years. So in that long journey, what kind of impacts you will have and how to overcome that has been one part of the study of International Space Station. So like initially we came to know something, then people designed a certain exercise equipments. So you tested it on International Space Station, whether it is mitigating or not. So you are learning step by step. I mean, building something to mitigate it, then from that learning and then building something to mitigate it. This one is going on. So if you want to make, that is you meaning that if humans have to make a long distance space travel, this is a kind of research that give us idea about how to do that. So that is also part of the game. So it is not something life threatening, but yes, it is something certainly not you and I will ever face in our life, right? But yes, it is.
And that's why those 7 are, extremely important people. But I just like, this question struck my head just now. It was said initially that this experiment was just for around 8 days. Now that it has gone past 9 months. So tell us about the mental aspect of the astronauts. How is this, this training actually carries on? Because you need to be, because it's not your home. It is not a place where you go every day. So tell us about the mental aspect of getting ready for these kind of challenges, especially the one in which Sunita Williams finds herself, and also of course the 7 others find themselves in.
Yeah, as far as I know, what I came to know from one of the speeches that from space is that she is happy that she got extended. In fact, apparently she even said that if they extend it more, I'll be even more happy. Because most of the people, there may be 1 or 2 exceptions, but most of the astronauts and cosmonauts and spacefarers from other nations have always said that initial few days we felt bad, but after that we were very happy, and we wanted to continue that experience. So that's one part. But suddenly, of course, there are other issues. Like, for example, you are near and dear are in Earth, you are so far away. If you want to meet or something, that's not possible that way, right? But of course, you talk to them through phone or video call. That happens. But there are some issues of this kind. But I don't think it's an issue of major, let's say, mental breakdown or things of that kind. I mean, for that, you practice in Earth only, then you go. Only people who are able to stand that are even selected. So it's not like randomly some people have gone there and then experiences. Even in Earth, you are put in containment, so you don't get to meet your other people for a long time. So you get practice. Before practice, it's not like you go to space, right? Yeah.
Right. One final question, Doctor. Like, if this thing extends again, like I'm talking in terms of deadline, if this deadline extends again, so how is it that this information is like? Of course, I'm concentrating on Sunita Williams at this moment, but also at the same time talking with reference to the other seven also, because we got questions regarding the kind of precautions and the kind of which you have already shed light on. So I don't want to go there, but is there any kind of experiments or the observations that needs to be completed before Sunita can actually return to Earth safely? Is there anything on those lines from a medical point of view and also from a NASA science point of view?
Not like that. Usually, the next team takes over and then continues, so that's not the problem. In fact, a similar precarious situation emerged earlier when the American craft exploded. You remember that Columbia and other explosions, and then space shuttle was stopped. Okay, so when the space shuttle was stopped, America had no craft which can take them to space or bring back. There was no craft, so they relied completely on Russia. That time, Soviet Union, Russia, Soyuz. So even now, if, for example, the crafts are not working properly, the craft there is already one in the remember that. So no issue. Okay. So replacement people can certainly go by Soyuz. Replacement can go by Soyuz, and then they can come back. So that's not a problem. So I don't think even if there is a technical issue with the Crew X craft similar to the Boeing craft, and then for some weeks or something like that, they are not able to operate, and then they decide that it's not safe to operate, I'm sure they will shift to Soyuz. Soyuz crafts are there. It's always ready. At any time it can be launched. Anytime, I mean, within some reasonable time, it can be launched. Usually you keep a few craft ready. Only you'll have to make it launch ready. So that launch ready they will make. And then you can send a replacement craft and then bring. For many years, actually only Soyuz craft was used to take people to ISS and bring back. So everyone was used to go from Russia, come back to Russia. So same thing can happen if necessary.
Right. So that's because Sunita Williams is a sort of celebrity. When, if I can say that, in terms of an astronaut, not just in America but also has a massive fan following here in India as well. So for people who are not associated with science or astronaut or the fans outside the science, what is that one end message would you like to give them that that she's all well over there? Of course, she has said that herself. But coming out from you will obviously make a difference. So any message?
So number one, the kind of usual media tag that stranded astronaut, stuck astronaut are all wrong. She is not stranded or stuck. Okay, I mean she is part of an expedition. That expedition is a normal expedition. It's part of the regular routine, and even this kind of delays are regular. It's not very irregular. Okay, so launch delays are. Launch postponements are very regular. So there is no threat to her life. And
Right.
if there is an emergency, if she had to come or other 7 people have to come, there is already a craft there. The crafts are always kept in the International Space Station for evacuation. So that is why you wait for the new team to come back. That is why you do that, so that always there is a craft in the International Space Station. So I think there is no need to worry about our health or mental well-being. It's something that is very interesting. I mean, our technology has improved so much that we are talking this details now. That's the one.
Right. Thanks a lot, Dr. Venkat, for your time for the federal. And as Dr. Venkat said, that there is no threat to her life, there is nothing to worry about, and her mental well-being is also being very well taken care of. Thanks a lot, Doctor, once again for joining in the federal. And we have had a wonderful time talking to you once again.